All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're super excited. It's another Thank Dog It's Friday. And we've
TDIF.
got, yeah, we've got, I have a table full of all kinds of stuff. I'm sure you saw the picture that we posted, kind of hinting at what we're going to be working on today. It's going to be, basically it's like a rustic sign we're going to make with all kinds of reclaimed and rustic pieces that spell out your dog's name, which I think will be a lot of fun. And obviously, Hillary, you're going to be doing it for Leon and Lulu. And mine will be basically kind of memorial, in memoriam for Clover and our first dog, our first beagle, Daisy, which makes this really a sweet gift for anybody that you know that might have lost a pup as well. You can make this as a memorial gift. And I think the best thing about it is it's super easy. Like this is something anybody can really do, right? Like, your kids can help with this. It's really, as long as you monitor them with the hot glue gun, that's really kind of the toughest part about it. Other than
Another thing that's kind of nice about this one is it'll match any decor. So depending on what you choose or what if your kids have a particular thing that they're into, like you can really customize it with your own personality or whoever's getting it as a gift as well.
For sure, for sure. And I think some of the other ideas we had as we were putting this together was that you could create a theme, or make up a theme. So if you have like a room in your house that like a sunroom that's kind of all beachy, you could, pick items that were more beachy in tone. Or if you wanted to make it for a holiday, Christmas or Thanksgiving or something like that, you could pick objects that kind of matched that theme. So you could really let your imagination go and have a lot of fun with this.
Definitely.
For sure. All right, so the first thing that you're going to need is a backdrop, something to place all these objects on. And of course, Hillary and I picked different things. So I showed you a picture of mine. It really just had an old board. It's an old fence board that was laying around, in the garden shed. I sanded it off and varnished it on the front, and then put a sawtooth hanger in the back, just so I didn't want to do it at the end when all the objects were just on top. I wanted to make sure that hanger was on at first. But why don't you tell everybody what you got?
Yeah, so I actually got mine at Walmart. It's just a craft in the craft section. This is kind of a finished but whitewashed piece of a board that I have, and then for Leon's I have a metal board.
Oh, cool.
That you can actually use it as a whiteboard. That's the intention of it, but I'm just repurposing it. And both of these have the sort of twine hangers on them. But as I was going around and trying to find something that would work for this, I thought placemats, if you have kind of a stiffer type of placemat, that could possibly work, or even baskets or wooden boxes, those types of things. It was definitely, sky's the limit as far as what you can use for your backdrop.
Yeah. You can, I was thinking even a dinner tray, something that's got like a nice little frame that's kind of a shadow box like thing. You can use a picture frame, a really pretty, or rustic or whatever picture frame, you just don't need the glass. And then for the back of it, Hillary, why don't you hold up the first one that you have? You can put some really pretty, I have one here, some really pretty scrapbook papers, right? And yours looks like I thought yours had scrapbook paper, but are those actual wood slats?
Yeah, this is all just wooden slats. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Because you can get scrapbook paper that has that look to it. So I wasn't sure. But anyway, you can do lots of fun things and add, really fit your personality and your home decor, which is a lot of fun. So I guess really the first thing to do, once you've kind of figured out what you want your base to be, is then go hunting around for objects that can make a letter that, each one makes a letter for the name of your dog. And so I found, I'm going to start with this is just a handle. I'm sorry, I guess it goes this way. This is a drawer pull. And I figured just turning it sideways would make a cute letter D, and it's got a lot of nice little character to it. So I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, and so my names obviously have lots of L's with Leon and Lulu, and so I found it's an actual easel holder for like a picture. So these are two of my L's that I'll be using.
Oh, that's great. Oh, how fun. That's fun. Hey, Christine, thanks for tuning in with us today. Great to have you here. All right, so I guess we can just go ahead and start gluing. Basically, you just kind of align everything on your backdrop so that it's spaced. Basically you just want to space everything correctly, but really anything goes.
Yeah.
So we can just go ahead and start.
So for mine, I'm going to tip my camera down just a bit so you can see it a little bit. So I have sort of a background of an L that I just got some washi tape. And
sure.
The nice thing about the washi tape is it adds a lot of pizzazz without a lot of effort. So I've sort of done different layers of this washi tape behind my L, and then I'm going to glue some sticks over the top of it I think the added, the more you can kind of layer things, the more texture you can add. It can really add, some depth to the end result. So.
Well, and I like how easy it is that the washi tape adds color, right?
Yep.
It's like an instant pop of color, which is nice. Okay. And then so my next letter, I've got a bunch of letters. I'm going to have to hurry through because Clover and Daisy are longer names. So my next letter for Daisy, instead of an actual literal A, I picked up this cute little metal, it's like a clip. And both the drawer pulls and this little clip I got from Hobby Lobby. And really, it's just a couple bucks. It's 40% off. So you really don't have to spend a whole lot of money. I think I probably all together, and I have a lot of letters, I probably spent about $12 per sign. So there's some things that are found around the house, and then other ones that I ended up buying. So I'm just taking this clip apart. It's kind of soldered on there. I just pulled that right off. So I don't need that part. So I'm just using the flower portion.
So this is the half of the easel that I'm using for the other L. This is a little wire, flower and little vine thing. But you could also, in the garden department, you could get, something similar to this to kind of dress things up as well.
Is that something you had laying around the house, or?
Yes, it was around a candle, so it was kind of wrapped around a candle, and I thought, well, this will work nice for this particular sign. So,
all right, now I need to use a little more hot glue. My flower's got a big indent in it, so use more glue. Hillary and I were talking about our glue guns and how long we've had them, and not only that, but how long we've had the glue. We've had it for quite a while. All right, I don't know. I really need to add a lot of glue to that flower. All right, leave it there for right now. And then for the eye, I'm using just a little bracket for handle, but it's going to be up and down. My objects are all pretty heavy. Are yours heavy, or are
no?
They
mine are actually pretty light, surprisingly. So
mine, I'll probably pick it up and they'll all come crashing down. I'm gonna try and space these out.
So one of my U's are going to be, this I just found on the clearance item, a necklace that I'm going to pull apart in order to create my U for one of the U's for
What
Lulu.
great idea. Fantastic. I placed a couple of my items just so I know that I'm facing up. All right, I hope this doesn't come crashing down when I pick it up. All right. Oh, good. I think my flowers. I just won't sneeze. I'm not sneeze. All right. And so for the S that this was another drawer pull from Hobby Lobby. And it was actually like this. And my husband saw and cut this for me so that I could have, and then I just used a black marker Sharpie and sanded that down, and then because you can see where the cut mark is, so I just used a Sharpie to finish that one off. All right, this really gets you working on your spatial relation skills here. But honestly, you could plop things down anywhere, and almost the more eclectic and fun and all of that, you know, the better it is. You really can't get it wrong.
Yeah, there is no wrong.
Unless you spell your dog's name wrong.
Now that's a possibility.
Other than that, well, knowing me lately, all right.
So my last U is kind of random. I took some of that washi tape, and then what I'm actually using here is a lint trap for like a sink or a wash machine, a laundry tub sink or something like that. So it's kind of a metal, but it's thin enough so that you can manipulate it, and then I just put some washi tapes on the end, and that's going to be my second U.
What a crazy creative idea.
We'll see if it stays on. That'll be the real test.
That's amazing. Okay, so for the Y, I just glued it down. I forgot to show. So I just went in the backyard and got a bunch of twigs and found one that had a Y shape to it. And then I was going to leave the twig alone, but I ended up peeling off the bark because I liked the warmer color of the wood. So let me show you. So here it is with the bark on, and here it is. So I just like the warmer tone without the bark. So I ended up peeling off the bark. You can leave it on. It actually probably looks a little more rustic with it on, but here's my first one.
Oh,
right there. So there's Daisy. So you can see underneath the Y is a little wooden, it's cut from a branch of a tree. So you can just cut that out in your backyard. Craft stores sell these as well, either individually or you can buy a bag of them for real inexpensive, just a couple dollars. So if you don't have a branch to cut or anything like that, you can do that. So that's Daisy. So I'm going to work on Clover's.
Lulu.
Oh, how cute. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. That's wonderful. All right, and I got my this turned out. So for the C in Clover, this you saw in the picture, it was kind of like an ornament, and it was all dark. I actually took the hanger off and painted this white, and then I'm going to turn this to the side. Is that backwards? Is that how?
No.
Which way?
Yep. There you go.
make this a C. So, oh, thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, we're having some fun. These are cute ideas. They're turning out cuter than I thought. So we're gonna see how these are when we're done. I am still petrified that all of my pieces are gonna fall off because they're so heavy.
So
and this one, go ahead.
I have my pieces for my Leon. I'm going to start with the E here. You can see I've put down, again, a background with some, it's got gold washi tape and kind of a honeycomb pattern.
Okay.
But what I'm using with that, I found this in the craft department, was a little picket fence. But what I'm just using a small piece of it and pulled out some of the pickets for my E, and that'll kind of just to give it a little bit of depth, and I'll show you once I have that glued on.
You are thinking outside the box with all these crazy techniques and things and textures and colors. That's wonderful. I love the washi tape. It really is a, you know, it's a fun way to cheat, add color and spice things up. And you can do that with other letters. So there were some letters that I really had a tough time finding. So, you know, you can use things, you know, I've got some rope that I thought I might use for an S or something like that. You can change out, again, like I did with the flower for Daisy. It's not a literal A, right? It was a flower. For Clover, I was thinking of using a, you know, a wooden heart. This turned out to be a little too big. So I tried, dug through the garden shed again and found an old wooden slat that's got lots of character and cut up a piece to make the letter V. I decided that was going to be too big, but there's all kinds of things you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. That's so great. Oh, what a clever idea.
So
and those all attached already. You just cut them on the ends and then put them in place.
Yeah, and I pulled out. So there is normally, you know.
Oh, that's right.
So I pulled out just a couple of them to make that shape of the E. And
that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Well, and then you've got all those left over for another craft.
Exactly. And this, the other L, the other end of my easel, I'm going to put some washi tape just in stripes across this just to spice it up a little bit so that it'll go with the other items on here. And then I have my O, which was a little burlap flower. And then I just took a piece of necklace, again, off the clearance rack. I cut a piece of the necklace just to spice it up a little bit, added that to the little burlap flower.
Yeah, that's great. What a great idea. So that's going to be your O.
And then these are just a couple twigs from the yard and some twist ties that were used. I think I had them on my wire cutters when I bought a pair of wire cutters. So I just ended up twisting the letters together, the twigs together to make my N.
That's great. And it's a great way to take, if you've got really skinny twigs, to make it thicker by just wrapping wire around it. But I also love that it just adds that another element of texture.
Yep, like that's exactly why I like it. Is it just, I have some twine as well, but it's a heck of a lot easier if you have something that has a wire in it to kind of hold things together without quite as much work and having to glue every piece of it.
Okay. So this Clover's name has a few more letters, so I'm placing them down first before I glue them, just to make sure the spacing is right. I'm trying to remember what I did for this one. So it looks like Christine says that Daisy, Flo, and Layla, you've got three pup names to do. That will keep you busy. But these are fun. I just love this. It's just so easy, so simple. Again, you can customize it in so many ways. I would say, in tying back to Hillary, what you were talking about, is that adding elements, if you're doing more than one sign, find things that repeat. So so that they might look different, but there are elements that repeat in both or in all three signs or however many that you're doing, so that they kind of tie together in a way.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start adding a little washi tape to my L before I glue it down. We'll see how consistent I can get these. Probably not very.
All right, I'm just still spacing. Clover has a lot of letters in her name. Okay, I think I'm ready to fire up the glue gun and get going again. All right, so I'm just gluing down my little horseshoe. I think I gotta hold it in
So
place.
here you can see my stripes are starting.
I like that they're at a diagonal too. That also adds a little more interest. And are you wrapping it all the way around, or are you cutting it?
I'm wrapping it just around like the edge. I'm not worrying about the back. So the back's kind of messy, okay, but that's going to be glued down. So I'm not too concerned about it.
Okay. Okay. Hold my, there's not a whole lot to hold that C in place. All right. So then for the L, this is my repeating element. So for Daisy, I used one of these brackets for the I, and for Clover, I'm going to make it an L out of two of them. So that'll help them look like the signs go together somewhat. Right. The other thing you can do is, you know, if you can do your kids' names with this, you can do, you know, your favorite sayings or your favorite word.
Yeah, definitely the sky's the limit, or a nursery, like anything.
Yeah.
You can kind of customize it for whatever your need is. And it's just really fun to find all the different, what are the different elements you want to use, or if you have kids, like if they have a favorite thing, kind of using some of those things, if it's, you know, baseball or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my hubby actually enjoyed going to Hobby Lobby to help kind of figure out what letters, what was the letter going to be. Kind of went on a hunt. It was like this mystery game that we did as we were walking through Hobby Lobby the other day.
Yeah, my husband and I were doing sort of the same thing. We kept on finding all kinds of great things for the O, and I was like, here's the easiest. So you can use buttons, you can use like a little bowl or a can lid, something, you know, like, I was like, okay, we have 100 things for the options for the O. We need to start worrying about some E's.
Too funny, too funny. Yeah, and there were a couple letters that I really, you know, was struggling to figure out what I was going to do. You know, you get them all except maybe one or two. So for speaking of O, for Clover, I'm using a little drawer pull. Another one. These I had a bunch of kind of old timey rustic ones laying around, and I just picked out kind of my favorite from the back of a drawer that I had.
Those are great.
Yeah. And I think, you know, you can get these at Michael's or Hobby Lobbies, or, you know, they're pretty popular. All of
or
these
an
items.
antique shop, or, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, all right. All right, and then for my letter V, I went literal. I actually picked up a bag at Hobby Lobby. I think it was 99 cents for 2 letter V's, and they're wood, and they have this kind of a stained edge to them. They're real tall and skinny. I thought that would be good. Again, I told you I tried a couple different things with the letter V for Clover. So I ended up using it, but I cut it down and then I painted it white. I don't know if you can tell. I painted it just real lightly, a real light white, just to match, since the drawer knob was white, the white flower in Daisy was white. That's why I made my C, the horseshoe white. Again, just finding things to repeat. You know, they don't have to be literally the same thing in all the signs that you're doing, but just elements like the color or items will help tie together.
And one of the other things, like even if you're using a stencil and painting it on or something like that, it's nice to have a couple of the letters or one of the letters be a really recognizable letter. If you're using some kind of abstract things for some of the other ones, it'll help with the pattern recognition when people are trying to read it. So
yeah,
if you have one or two that are the actual letter, I think it helps.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I don't think my glue was. The lightest possible thing I have to glue doesn't want to stick. I don't think I put enough glue on. I think I was being overly confident thinking it would.
Yeah, my L's for the easel are a little challenging because they've got kind of a funny shape to the back of them. So I need a fair amount of glue to get them down.
Yeah, I found that with most everything, so I didn't think I'd need as much with the V. All right, and if glue oozes out anywhere, it's okay. There's, you know, this is homemade. This doesn't have to be perfect. You know, in fact, that adds to the character and charm of it. I think just there are too many things that are perfect. I think it's part of one of the things that I've learned is to just let perfection kind of go, right? And just to have fun in the process. Oh, isn't that adorable? Oh, I love that. I love it how you've really reflected kind of a masculine take on Liam's and a more feminine one on Lulu's. I really love that.
Yeah, they definitely, I was trying to match their personalities a little bit, so. Lulu has flowers, not Leon. I guess he does, but it's a pretty masculine, as flowers go, it's pretty masculine.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hi, Nancy. Thanks for joining us today. It's so great to see you. We're having some fun spelling out our puppy dog names in some crazy rustic and reclaimed items that were either found around the house or the yard, or just picked up for cheap at the store. So we're having a good time. It's our crazy Thank Dog It's Friday. It's nice to have these kind of let it go. Yeah.
It's a lighthearted thing to start the weekend, and it's
well, hopefully these ideas inspire people to try it over the weekend.
That would be great. If you do happen to try them, please share your pictures. We would love to see how they turn out, what you create. If you have other ideas that you want to share with us, that would be fantastic. We're always looking for new ideas. So, and we're always willing to try whatever you might have in your mind. Like, even if it's just the spark of an idea, like, I don't even know if that would work. We'll try it. We're happy to try it. We can't guarantee anything, but we will try it.
Yeah, the good, bad, and the ugly. All right. Okay, so for Clover's E, it was the same disc. Oh, you're holding up Lulu.
Yeah, I was just going to hold them both up so you can kind of see them. So there's my Lulu.
We'll have to take some pictures and everybody the final products so you'll see them. For the E, I did the same thing, similar to what I did for the Y for Daisy. It's just the wood branch that was kind of cut and then some twigs on top. And I'm spelling out an E, and then I've got found these. There's really skinny little metal. I thought that was a cute little
R. Those are great.
I'm on my last letter. So what is Jennifer saying here?
Oh, I don't see.
She's going to try it for Emma, but you're right. It's going to be hard. Well, you know, actually the E was the easiest because I knew I wanted to do the twigs. So that actually made it easy. And I'll show you what Clover's E turns out to be. And I don't know if I'm using enough glue for this R. We'll see. All right, if I can get it to stick. All right. I think it's good.
A backwards 3 can be an E. Like if you happen to see number signs or things
yeah.
that, you can repurpose. Or a 7, if you flip it upside down, can be an L. So if you can find things that aren't necessarily exactly the letter that might work well for your purpose.
All right. Well, I may need to take the R off and put it back on to make sure it sticks, but here we go. There's my clover. So that's a really simple E. I really like that. And, and again, it's because the twigs are so thin. If I was just to do the twigs on their own, it would just kind of, first of all, it would blend in to the dark background. If I had a lighter background, they'd stand out, but they're also so skinny. So you want to think about the thickness of your letters too, so that they kind of all match in size, or I'll call it weight. So even though the E is real skinny, we're using a nice hefty backdrop for it. So you could do the washi tape like Hillary did, or this little twig. And so there's my clover. I'll show everybody again my little daisy. That's what I started with. So those will be really cute. So I don't know if everybody can see. Anyway, these were a lot of fun. We had so much fun today. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to just keep going at it every Friday. So 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to it might not be crafts. It might be something else, but we're just going to do everything we can to celebrate the love of our pups with you and for you and all that good stuff. We're putting together a tutorial for this, which will be up on our website. And we'll have that, we'll put a link to it in this recording so everybody can watch it later. Go to it as soon as the recording's up live.
We'll also put a link to the YouTube channel where we have all of our past TDIFs. So if there's something that you want to rewatch, or if not, these aren't particularly complicated, but if there's something you want to check out again, or different ideas that you didn't see before, you can go to the YouTube channel and watch any of the replays there.
For sure. And if you think of it, sign up for our newsletter. You can go to our website. We can probably put a link to that as well. We'd love to get you on our email list if you aren't already, so that you hear about all the latest and greatest things that we're doing, and you get a little teaser on what the every week's craft is going to be as well, or think dog, it's Friday. So anyway. Thanks everybody again. Love having you with us. It always makes it so much more special when you're here with us as we clumsily put these things together. And we can't wait to do it again next week with you. So have a great weekend. Hugs and happiness to each and every one of you. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.